Hello YouTube, it's Dave here. This is a update for, well, hopefully what might be the start of my model layout. Here you're looking at the 11th edition of the track plans. This picture here is the layout I would like to incorporate, although I have got many changes. Here you can see a proper detailed diagram of it. At the bottom is obviously the track, all coded, and the buildings, obviously a listing and a detailed view, or detailed description, sorry, of what the layout should, the size be, and what it's preferably on for. With this layout, I will show you in just a second. I've already gone out and laid the track on my living room floor as a rough guide of to what I want the adjustments of my layout to look like, although it's not looking very good at the minute, but this is one of the pictures I like of that layout. You see a Southern train there on the inner track. I think it's an LMS train on the inner. You've got a Southern Network, I think is it Class 50, pulling a rake of Southern coaches, and on the inside there a diesel carrying some coal wagons. This is the full layout, or what the layout in the book looks like. But yes, we will now move on to what my actual living room looks like, which is this. As you can see, my girlfriend is in work, and this is quite late at night. It's about 4 in the morning. I work night shifts on the weekend, so I work for Domino's, so I'm practically awake during the weekend hours. So yes, we will just grab my actual layout plans, and do excuse that, I'm using the sofa, well, the armchair to sit on. But yes, as you can see, that is what the original layout consists of, where you've got two inner, four, you could say two outer main lines, possibly two branch line, or some sort of goods mixed traffic line, and you've got like a shed on the outside. This is one of the bits I want to change of the layout, as I don't really like it. If I can find the picture of why I don't like it, it's not that I'm not a fan of it. Well, that's one bit I want to incorporate, which is by that piece there. So obviously the red line there on my layout is this walling here, although here it states that I've got, well, you've got 2 lines, whereas I've got, sorry about that, 4. Bit boisterous, but yeah, if I can find it, whatever it is. Yes, no, that's not the one. Where is it? Where is it? It's always when you need to find something, you can never find it, which is always a pain in the bum. That's the only thing. See, for me, for a layout like this, you've got, a nice station area with a 3-car DMU, bit of a local yard, 2 main lines, and then obviously, as I said, 2 inner lines for whatever such. The gasworks with a coal shunting yard for some shunting activities. But yeah, as you can see, it's a kind of an old village, but then this is a bit of an eyesore for me. I don't, that sort of thing I'd rather keep out, whereas in the middle of my layout I'd rather have, and I don't know, unfortunately I can't find it, but yeah, so as you can see, I've actually, if we face my plans with how this plans are. So obviously I've kept the station area. This isn't to scale, by the way. I've been advised to use Rail software to see if it fits on a board. This is just a rough sketch or an idea. It does seem quite a lot, but it's not, considering it's just that extended with just this bit here instead of that there. So instead of it being like a coal thing, I've taken it away, chopped and changed, and because I want an island in the middle, it's more easy for me than to reach over to either side of the tracks. So yeah, as you can see, I've taken this piece out. So there's the station, which is that one there, and then these lines come round, which they do on mine. The only one thing I've cut out is the end. The same goes for this end, where instead of a level crossing being there, when the camera wants to focus, nope, doesn't, yep, nope, yeah, there you go. I've reverted it to the opposite end. This is potentially a road with a row of terraced houses, some level crossings. But yeah, want to try and take this along here, down, possibly on the other side. So as I said, this piece here, whoever designed this layout by Hornby, whatever they had in plan for that, I don't want, as I want to fill a yard underneath, like on Everard Junction, other rail publications on here. So yeah, as you can see, as it comes round, mine, yeah, five tracks, bit ambitious, considering that's what it looks like. I'm only working with a 2-foot board width-wise, so trying to fit this here is more than 2 foot. So this obviously here is this here. This line here was, I think, if we can just find it again, I should really mark out these bits in these books, which is what I quite liked. If it's even in this book, if it's not, it's in the actual one with the actual book with the locos, but it shows the gasworks with a rail line. Yeah, no, it's not in this one. But basically, this bit here, if I can turn it around, this bit here, this is the gasworks, which is wrong one, which is there. So I've pulled it. No, have I? Yes, yeah, I've pulled it away from the station. Gasworks near train station, not very good. So yeah, obviously I've put it here for a little shunting action. I've not drawn in the line because I don't know how I'd actually connect it, whether I just connect it to that one or run a separate one, have like a hill or something where it disappears under, and just sits on a dead end and then comes back out again, or something like that. I'm not too sure, but yeah. So as you can see, the gasworks, this line here, which isn't in this book, which is in the local one, which is for the same time this came out. I don't know what it's called, but yeah, in the I presume some of you may know, or if you've seen the book, it's got little red London bus with a black 5 going over the top with I think a rake of coal wagons, I believe. But yeah, this would be inclined up to go above the road and then come back down again, as you can see with them little pencil marks there. You can see I've suggested that that's on an embankment whatsoever, and then obviously this road bridge goes under but then goes up and over these 3 lines. I've kind of, I'm not too sure about that. I've noticed on some videos, Everard Junction, for example, with the canal scene, with the trains going above, well, even when they had the motorway in place, that was pretty cool. So yeah, that type of thing I might change, so it just goes underneath the track and then the track to see all the girder bridges. I'm not too sure, but yeah, as you can see, so if we use my track plan for a minute. So here you have the station. Excuse my cat for a minute. Minx, psst. So you can see the station is a little bit ambitious. It's not going to be that long, so to say. It might be, but we're living in my sister-in-law's house, or renting it, and the garage. I've not gone to size up yet, but this was supposed to be going into my girlfriend's dad's garage, and we had 15 by 9 foot allocated. So this was originally for that garage, but the garage we have now is quite considerably smaller. So yes, I might have to cut out one or two tracks, but yeah, as you can see. So as I was saying, this is the station. This track here and this track here, as it shows here, terminates on either end of the station building. This is particularly for DMU, so it obviously goes around and then comes back on the other end, being not so much being a different station, but to represent the fact that it's gone to another destination and then it's arriving back from that destination, if you know what I mean. I've written it down, the descriptions in a little notepad I had, which I'm not even going to attempt to show the writing because my handwriting is atrocious, I'm afraid to say. But yeah, so obviously that isn't what it's going to look like. I don't know if Hattons or Pico Hornby do a kind of 4-point thing where it's all in one. I know for American railroading they do, but it's all compact, which for when you've got train crossing over, it's kind of awkward because you're having to bring the tracks in further than having the proper spacing. So especially this being on the station edge, I can't really afford to have a bit shaven off. I might do, I don't know. I'm open to suggestions, to be honest, as this is the first video to showing what the layout could possibly hold for this year. So yeah, as we go back, so obviously the 4 lines, is it 4? Yeah, 4 lines go out. The 2 outer ones are the main lines. In the box over there, the top Hornby box, sorry for the camera shaking, top Hornby box is the latest edition I had off my wonderful girlfriend for Christmas. She wasn't very happy with the price, although it's reasonable. The gluten-free box there, which is from work, and the same with the the box which we have our strippers delivered, or boxes from Domino's. We chuck them out on a daily basis on delivery days, and the amount of times me and my girlfriend, due to her moving the last 2 years, I've needed these boxes. So yeah, all this track goes into that box with them trains just kind of clambered on top, as they not so much work, but they need working on, and I'm not technical with trains just yet, as this is my first layout. I have no idea what on earth, not so much what on earth I'm doing, but yeah, I'm not so much jumping in the deep end. But yeah, it's a bit big for what the layout should be, but never mind. So yeah, all them 2 boxes, the bottom one is where all my rolling stock is kept, and the top one there with the gluten-free is a small box that I prepare to take when I go to Model Club, Chester Model Club, which I attend every Wednesday. Sorry. So yeah, I think it's got the J11 in the BR Early Crest, which has got a few wagons in and what's on. So yeah, back onto the rolling stock. I'm hoping to do 1945 to 1947, where it was the Big Four, as I'm not so much I'm an absolute fan of the Flying Scotsman, I must admit. I'm doing LNER, LMS and early British Rail, although LMS, technically LNER is on the east coast, LMS is on the inner, GWR and then obviously BR covered it all when they first started out. But yeah, I'm kind of taking the LNER in a little bit with the LMS in a little bit as well. So they, although technically they don't actually run through the same area together, although they might, but you know, I'm modelling the East Coast where I have no idea, as I'm from North Wales. So out of my depth, I have looked on numerous library books and nothing can help me. And Google is, you type in LNER and it for some reason, I don't know if it's just the way I'm typing it into Google, but it just doesn't come out the way you want it to do. So yeah, as I said, so you've got the two outer tracks, which were when I've got most rolling stock. One will be for LNER and one for LMS. So as you can see, they both go around, although to start with in the station it's two tracks, goes into one, goes all the way around, then goes back into two before it goes into the tunnel. That top piece there is where the Fiddleyard track will go. As I know, I've watched Everard Junction videos. He does explain in one of them, I think, it's best to build your Fiddleyard first before your layout, because once you've built your layout, that's it. You're trying to work under space that you can't work under. So this bit here will come underneath, and then wherever underneath the board I will have my Fiddleyard, or if I have, because I'm gonna have an island in the middle, whether I might have enough space to kind of have it coming out at an angle. So if you think about it, these come around here and then split off into, I don't know, say 8, 10, maybe 12 tracks if I can possibly fit it. And then if I can, it's going to sound a bit complicated, but have it on a, like the mechanisms you have on drawers where they slide out, possibly have it so it slides out, so I can slide it out, change the trains around, and then slide it back in, and then they can run out and then go around. So yeah, the two main lines split into one, split back into two, go into the tunnel, go over the crossing for the Fiddleyard, come back round, which is that bit there. Obviously you're going to say, why is only the outer track connected to the Fiddleyard? I did think about bringing this one down and around, but if I do that, then obviously this bit of track here isn't really going to be, well, not going to be really supported by a baseboard, but trying to get the track from here to on this side without interrupting that track is going to be too much of a pain in the bum. So yeah, that's why I've got one of them crisscrosses there, and there. So even if I bring in a train that I want on the inner line, I can still do so, and then obviously before it gets into the station I can switch it there so it is on the inner line, so to say. So yeah, these level crossings here, obviously there I've put another one in. Obviously I don't have it, but yeah, this is how much track I have, although bits of it are flexi, some of it are set track, and some of it are like that piece there, for instance, is pretty rusted. It won't be used, apart from if anywhere in here, say for instance in the yard, obviously there's not a lot of space there, so this is where the gasworks would be. The road would go under and over, or whatever, basically where my finger's pointing, that's where the road would go. So this engine shed yard here, on here, looks pretty good, with a turntable, 2 sheds, and 5 sidings. It's a bit, it's a lot of track, and a lot of stuff in one area, but obviously with this track here being on an embankment, it will be hidden, although this bit I've been thinking for the last 2 or 3 weeks while I've been looking at this, to switch it to this side somewhere, obviously, so it's more or less near the station, and with obviously with the little town scene going on, it's, I mean, as railways were when, like, back in the olden days before Beeching had a brilliant idea of accessing all the railways. Small towns like this would have had like a steam, like a good, not a good yard, an engine yard of some sort round the station area, like Bridge North, for example, like that type of layout or setup. So yeah, obviously, so you got the red line there, which is the retaining wall, which would be along the fireplace there, cutting across, and then all this, say for instance, would be covered with a mountain or some sort. So then this line here, as you can see, my not so good artwork, you could see that this would be a hill to hide the fact that I've got a fiddle yard going on. So yeah, so the embankment would come up to about by there and then go straight across, so the tunnel. Although thinking, as I said, or as I referred to Everard Junction with his canal scene, it's a bit ambitious for my first attempt at a layout, but instead of putting a road, I was thinking of doing what Dave Howarth did on his layout, was putting a little canal scene alongside the railway and then disappearing into a tunnel down thingies. I don't know, this, as you can see, it's just a rough sketch. This line here is not going to be there, because I'm going to have my island in the middle, so I can stand, and so the scenery's on the inside looking at me, not the other way around. Whereas in the Chester Model Club, you stand in the middle and the scenery's facing outwards, which is great for viewing public, but if it's your own layout, then you want to see it yourself and try and hide it. So yeah, so these are a row of terraced houses. I should really get the book, but picture, but yeah, never mind. So yeah, as you can see, I've got a 2-foot board basis to work with. Unfortunately, that is not going to go. It is not going to go on 2 foot. This will. If I measure from here, there's 2 foot. So hang on, forget me. From what I measured, that was 2 foot. So obviously this isn't to scale with the station I've got. So I may have to chop a line, which is not really what I want to do, but I might have to, just to sacrifice on space, but depending on how big the garage is. Obviously this is it's like nearly, I think it's from that end to that end, I think it's just over 9 foot, which is quite a lot, which is way big. But yeah, so obviously in the corner there I've got all the spare track, although it's all curves, is literally there's no straights being spared. I've even got there's a piece somewhere that's this piece here, which is so badly damaged. It's beyond use, to be honest, unless I did it as a fake, or a line that used to be in use, and has just been in disrepair and buckled and bent and whatnot. And maybe put a few wagons on there that have been discontinued and whatnot and just left to rot. So yeah, that's obviously there are quite a few pieces. So as I said, this one, and a few other ones, the ones with the power cable things in there, they won't be used. As another quote by Everard Junction, you need a programming track. So I will have 2 programming tracks. Reasons being is if one doesn't work, I've always got a backup. So yeah, it's I'm not saying it's a good idea, but it's my idea. So yeah, this is what I'm going for. So yeah, if you want to, feel free and comment and say, you know, constructive. I don't mind constructive criticism. I take it in work. I just take it on the chin. I will listen to people's advice. I've asked Everard Junction, Dave Class, I think it's 47. I've asked both them on baseboard construction. Sorry, I'm full of the flu, as we all are from this harsh winter month. So yeah, I've asked them on board construction what kind of top layer they've used, what battens for around the sides and supporting the legs, the underlay for the cork. Obviously track, I've got, as I said, Pico streamlined flexi track, Hornby set track. I think some of it's actually, this is going to sound very thingy, but I've got Lima, I think it's Lima pieces. There's one or two there that are really, really old, and I've never seen them. Well, I'm only 27, so other people might have, I haven't. So yeah, as I said, I've got Hornby set track, Pico streamlined, and I've been advised that you shouldn't really mix, because you get the different variations. Unfortunately, for now, I'm going to have to, until I can afford Pico track, as everyone says that it's more expensive, but I don't know, it seems to be better built. I know that's not a word, but compared to the Hornby stuff, it just doesn't, the Hornby stuff just doesn't look, well, not doesn't look, but I just think it's better. Pico, Hornby, the track's not the best, to be honest, but it's what we can budget to at the end of the day. So I'm having to mix Hornby and Pico streamlined set track and all the rest of it. So yeah, as you can see in the middle here, we have, as I said, a load of dud engines. Some of these were my dad's. There's one or two that I had when I was a kid. This little green one here, I repainted. That little wagon there, and there's a yellow one somewhere. Was a train set that I had when I was a kid, which was called My First Layout, or My First Train Set. It was literally like a little circular oval shape, where in the middle is a station. It was a plastic carrier box where you'd put all it in together, and you'd unfold it and you put the controller. Seen him still on eBay, which is nice to see. But yeah, obviously the HST 125. I'm not sure what kind of diesel that is. I'm not very fond of diesels, I must admit, although I like the 125 in various liveries. As we can see, we've got the BR blue and yellow. These two are the ones that need, one's a dummy, one's a power, obviously. One of them, I can never tell which one. Either one, I think it's the one on the left's the heaviest. Unfortunately, screeches and struggles to get to power, so I might have to watch a few videos on here, on seeing how to repair them. If not, I might have to send them or take them to the most nearest model shop I've got is Chester. So I might have to take them to them or Hatton's, and see what they can do for me, as I don't really want to be ripping them apart and not knowing what I've got a clue of. But oh, it's a Class 37. There you go, in BR. This was my dad's. As you can see, Hornby. It's not badly detailed. It could be worse. But unfortunately, it doesn't run. The motor and all the power cables have been clipped. So I don't know if that was my dad being my dad, or whether he bought it like that. But that's another one to be sorted out. Although this isn't, and the same with the 125, isn't the area or the error that I'm doing. Obviously I'm starting off with Steam to go through the ages, should we say. So once, like, I get, not that I want to get up to modern day stuff, but I'd like to do like what James Simpson has got, like a little heritage line, so to say, with modern day stuff running through, and then, you know, preserved railway line off one station going off into the countryside. But yeah, excuse the bottle of Dr Pepper. Obviously Annie and Clarabelle, sorry. And where's Thomas? Where's he gone? He was here. Oh, there he is there. This, I'm surprised to say, has lasted since I was a kid. Literally. It has stood the test of time, although it does not work no more, which is a real shame. I think it needs some oiling up and some running in it, but you can see there it's rusted slightly on the rods. There's a bit of damage on the top there as well, and other places. But other than that, I'm not going to say it's as old as me, but it's from when I was a kid, and I'd never get rid of it for the world, as it's always brought me fond memories. We've got what else have we got? Well, we got from a layout that I bought. I think it was last year or so to say. I think it was not last year, the year before. I bought a layout off a gentleman in about 25 miles away from Alton Park. I can't remember what the name of the town was, but with the layout, it was ideal, because if I cut, obviously some of these tracks come from that layout as well, if I cut the board in half, it gave me, that was it, it was 4 foot by 8 foot. Was it 4? Or was it 4 by 4? I'm not too sure, but anyway, I dismantled the layout and I cut it straight in half, which gave me the 2 foot boards. I think it was 4 foot by 4 foot. That's the size. So yeah, this was one of the locals that came with it. Although I have the newer one in there, which I bought from the Mixed Freight train set. So this, not that it's not going to get used. I'll probably, although I think that's the BR Late crest. I think, I'm not too sure. As I said, BR, I'm more of an LNER fan than anything else, but yeah. So yeah, that was one, and where was the other one? There was another one here somewhere. It must be, oh no, they're both in there actually, sorry. But yeah, we've got, this was also what my dad picked up. Presume it's, I think it's a warship class or something. I have seen other people have them on the layouts. To me, they're ugly things. They really are. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it just looks like someone's been hit in the face with a frying pan, for crying out loud. You know what I mean? I don't know. But yeah, it's not mine. Although when my dad bought it, as you can see, the body is very much warped. I think the guy that sold it, my dad said that it was not so much involved in a fire, but it got heated up to bend like that, basically. So yeah, that's another one that I'm not even going to bother salvaging, because it's just not worth it, to be honest. But yeah, then we've got this Dock Authority diesel. Kind of not the thing for this layout, as I don't have a dock or anywhere near sea. Although if I have the canal on that side, possibly I could take a line out or some sort, or have the canal on this side, on this, although technically no, I don't think it would be the same error, or for future reference to have this shunt back and forth wagons and whatnot. So yeah, there's quite a few. There's this GWR little one, which I got from an old train set. Don't think it was. Yes, I think this was one of the first proper train sets I bought myself back in 2010, maybe 11. And this really got me wanting a layout. This little thing. But yeah, obviously I'm not doing GWR, so I will scratch. Scratch the GWR off on the number plating on it. Probably paint it or tatter it down or some sort and make it a bit more suitable for my layout. And then we've got this one. This is probably older than me, to be honest. This was my dad's first loco. I remember sitting on a living room floor just like this, on a few baseboards with this, pulling around a few coal wagons. Nostalgic values, but yeah, this is another that does run, doesn't run, wants to run when it makes up its mind to. It might just need some lubrication, to be honest. It doesn't seem to be very wet in there, but yeah. But other than that, we've got this. No, that one. We've got this, which is called Prince Henry, which is I don't know if it would have been the Queen's train, maybe back in the day, but that symbol there, I don't know if that's related to a coal works or a coal industrial plant of some sort. But yeah, this one, as you can see, has got a bit of damage there and a bit of damage underneath. But other than that, this one is kind of the same as that one, and then that one. It kind of runs when it wants to. Obviously, when I took it to Model Club, we had it's quite hilarious, really. It proves how better steam is than diesels. I had the Tornado and the Flying Scotsman, one either end, pulling and pushing this thing to run, and we had it going for half an hour, and it just would not run by itself. It had to either be pulled or pushed, although pushing it, because it's quite a dead weight, it probably worked pulling it than pushing it, as it would have strained the train pushing rather than pulling. But yeah, it's alright, but yeah, same again, not the error I'm doing. So this and the rest of them will be tucked away. Although I probably will get it out from time to time, just to run it in. But yeah, I've got some other. Sorry about that. I've got some other things. So yes, this is probably better off bringing these out over here. Obviously, trains these days aren't exactly cheap, so you need to look after them the best you can. Although in this box, as you can see, it's all stacked in. So yeah, it's not exactly the best box for carrying or storing, shall we say. But this is where I want to put it down without breaking anything. Alright, let's put them in the middle so we can see what we got. So beginning off straight away, this was the the latest addition to my rolling stock. As you can see, it is a Early BR 260 K1 class 62059 weathered, and she is a beauty. Fair play to Hornby. They've followed the same packaging style as Bachmann, which I think is far better than what they were originally doing. But this model, I am suffice to say, is an absolute beauty. Like the weathering on that, absolutely class. If we can try and get it out with one hand, that would be good. Obviously, I'm filming this from my girlfriend's tablet, so. But yeah, she is a beauty. She really is. She had her first running session 2 weeks ago at Model Club, and she ran like a dream. We had her on the lower track, and we didn't even notice that she was running around. She was that silent. As you can tell, it's got. You can't really. It's got sprung buffers, which is always great. It's got name etching plates there. But yeah, she is an absolute beauty. I must admit, for 90 quid, I'm not saying it's cheap, and I'm not saying it's expensive. It's mid-range, but for a Hornby, considering I have other Hornby locos, they're not as good as this, to be honest. They're following Bachmann slowly, but yeah, she is just a beauty. The detailing, the handrail, if we can, I don't think we can, no, unfortunately, she's coupled with a screwdriver, so unfortunately I can't, well, there you go, you can just see inside the cab. It's detailed quite well. It's quite realistic. Obviously, the crappy effect of coal. That, when I get the chance to, I will stick more better coal down on it. But yeah, she's just an absolute beauty. She really is. So yeah, this is the first weathered loco I have. Although I have weathered rolling stock. Obviously, if I can try and get her back in her packaging, as we don't want her to get ruined or get covered in dust. But yeah, I quite like. When Bachmann first brought out this type of packaging, I didn't really like it because of its fiddliness. But now that they're both Hornby and Bachmann doing them this way now, you just get your loco protected from all sorts. I'm not saying that if I drop this now it'd be sound. I'm not going to drop it. As I don't want to run the risk of it getting damaged, to be honest. As my missus would probably kill me, as I've only had it a month. So yeah, so that's that one. And then this is, as I said, this is the box that I take to Model Club. So there's quite a few bits I already had previously, and a few bits I brought from Worley in 2014, I believe. These little wagons here, they came with. She's rolling off. They came with this. Now for £2.50, I couldn't leave it there. Literally, I bought two. Unfortunately, that was all I had left of the money I had. To be quite frank, I wish I'd have bought more, because for £2.50 you can't go wrong. Like literally, you can, like, even if you don't have this on, you can have it on the back of a flatbed, and then just run round the layout with this, with some logs or something else on top of it. Which, I mean, this wagon, I don't know how much it would probably cost on Hornby's website, £2.50, really. Honestly, when I saw, I told my father-in-law, I was like, £2.50, literally, £2.50. And the guy had a full drawer of them. He had LMS, GWR, and I think he had LNER, but he'd run out. Unfortunately, he'd sold all them, so the LMS was the only ones I could get. So as I said, same again. These northeastern ones I bought from Hornby. I believe I bought them from Harrods. The first year we went to London, being as every big kid does, when you find out that they've got a Hornby selection, first thing you do, straight upstairs, never mind paying attention to what your girlfriend or anyone else wants, you go where you want to go for the trains. So yeah, I got these two. I got this one, which is missing its coupling, which might have to buy a new one. If not, it might be in here somewhere. But yeah, this was by Bachmann, I believe. Yes, Bachmann branch line, which is really good built, really good, nice little truck. This was this one, and there's another little train somewhere. I don't know where it's gone, but it was a part of the Rambler set.